When we are young, we can't distinguish good from evil. The dog was her best friend and the only one she could talk to for hours. Katie's mom, Maggie, worked all day, so she couldn't play with her daughter much. So the dog took her place. One evening, Maggie came home earlier than usual and saw Katie talking to her dog again. "I called the police because you refused to do your homework and spend all your time with that dog." However, when the police arrived, they didn't take Katie away, but asked her mother a few questions and took her outside to talk. When the girl returned home, her mom was waiting for her. Meanwhile, Katie had already arrived at her father's house. She was so upset that her mother had taken away her passport. The girl burst into tears. She still had to do her homework and sometimes spend time with her dad instead of playing with her beloved dog. But when Katie missed Bear very much, her father took her to their house so she could at least spend a couple of hours with the pet. "Dad, I'm so scared. Mom took my passport. She wants me to live with you, but I don't want to," Katie cried. "See you soon. Bye." The man was surprised to see his daughter so upset. He hugged her and asked what had happened. Katie poured out her heart to her father, telling him about the constant quarrels with her mother and her new plan to get rid of her. When the girl finished her story, her dad got angry. "Your mother and I are divorced. She can't force you to live with me if you don't want to. Don't worry, Katie. You'll stay with me." "No one can force you to do anything you don't want to do," her dad said. The girl threw herself at her father's neck and thanked him for his support. "I've had enough, Katie. You're a spoiled, rotten child." Maggie insisted that Katie move in with her father, but the man refused. He believed it was his daughter's choice and she shouldn't be forced to do anything. "Do you think you can get away with everything? Your behavior is unacceptable. I can't handle you anymore. Starting today, you'll live with your father," Maggie shouted. Katie burst into tears. "But I don't want to go to Dad's." "Please don't send me there, Mom. I promise I won't spend all my time with Bear anymore. Don't send me to Dad's." "I beg you," the girl cried. "That's it. I'm done. I'm taking your passport. You're going to your father whether you like it or not. You'll live with him from now on," Maggie said. The woman took the document from the kitchen drawer and went to her daughter, but Katie was nowhere to be seen. "What's going on? Are you sure you want to take my daughter away?" "I told you to come here, but you didn't say anything," Maggie said angrily. "Ma'am, we received a call that you found your daughter playing with a knife and a dog. We needed to check if she was in danger. Is everything okay?" an officer asked. "Playing with a knife? I didn't do anything like that," Katie shouted. "Yes, you did. I saw you holding a knife and threatening a dog. Then you said you wanted us to take you away," the officer insisted. Katie burst into tears. "I didn't threaten anyone with a knife. I just played." "I don't understand. Why do you think I hurt the dog?" "I love Bear. He's my friend. I would never hurt him. I swear," the girl cried. "Well, then let me ask him," the policeman said and turned to the dog. Bear was standing nearby, wagging his tail. Katie's mom grabbed the animal and pulled him closer. "Look, he has no injuries. The dog isn't afraid of you, which means you didn't hurt him. Maybe you should apologize for calling the police in vain," the officer suggested. Katie threw herself at her mother's legs and begged her to forgive her. Maggie hugged her daughter, but didn't say a word. She didn't want to admit that she had made a mistake. "They'll take you away from me so that I can finally teach you a lesson or maybe send you to boarding school," Maggie said. "No, please don't, Mom. I'm sorry. I promise I'll do my homework from now on. Just don't call the cops." "I don't want to go anywhere without Bear," Katie cried. Seeing her daughter's tears, Maggie felt a twinge of regret. However, she stood firm. "Don't call the cops, Mom. Please, please don't. I'm really sorry. I promise I'll be good from now on. Just don't call the cops." "I don't want to go anywhere without Bear," Katie begged. Maggie soughed a bit, but still remained firm. Okay, I won't call the cops, but you have to promise to listen to me and do your homework, she said. Katie threw herself at her mother's knees and promised she would never spend all her time with the dog again. Maggie hugged her daughter, patted her head, and went into the other room to wait for the police. She tapped them both on the shoulder and asked what they were doing. Nothing, Katie said quietly, hugging her pet. Maggie smiled and decided not to disturb them. But the next day, the woman called the police. How did it happen? Let's sort it out. That SY parents have to tell their kids not to talk to strangers because we may not know their intentions. And even when we grow up, it doesn't mean we become more aware of everything. As the woman approached the door, she heard the dog bark loudly. What are you doing there, Katie? Maggie knocked on the door. The girl was startled and immediately fell silent. After a moment, she opened the door and said timidly, "Nothing, Mom." The woman looked into the room and saw Katie sitting on the floor surrounded by her toys. "Where's your homework?" Maggie asked. Katie shrugged her shoulders. "I don't have to do it." "You never come home early. Why did you come today?" "Can't you see I'm playing?" The woman sighed. She understood that her daughter had gone too far this time. "You're right, I won't bother you. I'll just wait till you finish playing and then we'll do your homework together," Maggie said. The girl nodded, still not taking her eyes off her toy. Maggie left the room, but instead of getting down to business, she took out her phone and called the police. "So take a look at the story we were going to tell you and see if you could have acted differently in this situation. Under the bed, it watches." A girl called Katie loved spending time with her pet dog named Bear. Katie was 8 years old. Her mother worked as an accountant and spent most of her time at work. At first, Maggie didn't mind leaving her kid alone because she was an adult and responsible enough to take care of herself. But recently, the woman had started coming home earlier and earlier, and every time she found Katie playing with her dog instead of doing her homework, Maggie got more and more upset. She tried having a serious conversation with her daughter, but the girl just promised to be more obedient and continued to spend all her free time with the dog. One evening, Maggie came home from work earlier than usual and heard Katie talking in her room. When Katie heard the word police, she immediately ran into the kitchen and asked her mother what she was doing. The woman thought it was about time to explain to her child that she wasn't a little kid anymore and had to take care of herself. Then the officers left and Katie ran after them. She wanted to explain that she hadn't done anything bad to the dog, but no one listened. Maggie searched for her child for half an hour, but there was no sign of her. Later, Katie's dad talked to her mother that they couldn't come to an agreement. After a while, Katie's life got back to normal. Friends, what would you have done in this situation? Let us know in the comments. And that's all for today.